with the name, image, and likeness laws on the books that are now officially taking place today, and the fact that players are going to start getting money for making appearances, start getting money for using their autographs to make money. They're going to start getting money for their image, their likeness, all of that. Now, they're supposedly still not allowed to get money to actually come to a university and play for a team.
Right.
Or get some sort of extra benefits because they chose a university over another. That's still verboten. But the fact that this is happening for players to make money off of their name, image, and likeness, and what Jay Billis pointed out yesterday, the latest guest of ours to talk about this subject yesterday, what he pointed out, rightfully so, is that this is just the beginning of the end. This is the obvious beginning of the end. The slippery slope is coming, and that we're going to see players getting paid for their services to actually attend a university. Not just, hey, you've attended a university and you're doing your stuff as a student amateur athlete, and we'll pay you for your services to promote X, Y, and Z, right? So everybody's deciding that because we're begun that slippery slope, that the NCAA, Jay actually tweeted this out and Instagrammed it out after he appeared here yesterday, that the NCAA should basically acknowledge that this is the beginning of the end, and that the way that they've handled their business with student athletes who have been caught taking extra benefits should be overturned. That, for instance, Reggie Bush should get his Heisman back and he should get his statistics back. And that the Fab Five should get the banners back, right? And here's where I stand on it. I think individual records should be restored. I think Reggie should get his Heisman. I think he should get his statistics. And I think my alma mater should not get its banners back.
Interesting.
That the reason why is that the player and his performance or her performance on a court or a field, I don't think was affected one way or another by the benefits that they got. Maybe Reggie got a better night's sleep than others because he was in a condo or an apartment that he wouldn't have had
But I
otherwise.
think the house was for his parents.
Right.
So it's like,
you know what I mean? Like I don't.
Right.
I'm not sitting here thinking, you know what, he would have had a worse game.
Sure.
He wouldn't have been one of the more generationally talented collegiate players that we've ever seen. If he didn't have that extra benefit. But the fact that he was on this team and they got that far with him choosing this team because of what benefits were coming his way, that I have a problem with, because what if the other teams were actually playing under the rules that were taking place? That's when I see something like that, and I'm thinking, like, should the Cowboys have first and goal in Green Bay on that playoff day? Should the Raiders get the football back in the New England snow? The rule at the time was not a catch for Dez,
right,
and not a fumble for Tom.
Correct.
I'm triggered right now, man.
But you know what I'm saying? The rules at the time were the rules at the time.
Right.
And to now say that the rules are changing now, the rules are completely different now, we should now go back and restore the team records that were taken away because of amateurism that is clearly, or the concept of amateurism and rules that are protecting that are clearly a sham, because we're seeing they were also illegal. An antitrust violation that Brett Kavanaugh, in a concurring opinion from the Supreme Court bench, basically said, hey, everybody, you want to sue the NCAA to start paying players? Bring it. There's a very welcome presence here in the Supreme Court, certainly in front of my portion of it, that we should now go ahead and say, well, if it's a sham now, and it was proven to be illegal now and a sham now, that means it was then too. So let's put the banners for the Fab Five back, or whichever team got a player there illegally to do some sort of benefit that they could have stopped or knew about, what if the other team wasn't doing that? What if the other team was playing by those rules? You know what I'm saying? But Reggie, the fact that you took impermissible benefits, so you don't get a Heisman Trophy for your clearly superior work on the field. Your records don't exist because you took money. That I think is absurd. It was absurd to begin with.
It's absurd to begin with.
And Reggie came out today, well, look what we have here. This was his tweet from yesterday, and he sent out a statement today as well through his spokesperson, Denise White, basically saying that he's reached out to the NCAA and the Heisman Trust to say, hey, how about my records restored and my Heisman back? And so far, radio silence. I thought it was ridiculous to take it from him to begin with because, again, I don't believe that that kid who had the 619 underneath his eyes on his eye black representing his hometown in Southern California for the University of Southern California was any better of a runner or a receiver or anything because of what was happening off the field. I don't believe so. Yeah. But if USC was made better because he chose them over another team because those benefits were there.
Right, that's a different story.
That to me is kind of a different story because everyone else was playing supposedly under the same rules that were being broken. So that's my kind of 2 cents on all of that.
What kind of...
You didn't think I'd come in here and say, give Reggie's Heisman back, but don't give me my basketball team, the banners back, right?
I didn't.
But to ban somebody like Reggie can't even have any contact with the school for as long as he couldn't have any contact with the school. I mean, that's... Now that we see that sort of punishment was for behavior that is a violation of antitrust, most likely, and so potentially illegal, and then clearly a total sham if their NCAA is now like, okay, you can pay players for your name, image, and likeness, And you could say he was getting, or his family got benefits for his name, image, and likeness. You can connect those dots, maybe. I just like, for some reason I sit here and I think rules are the rules at the time, just in the same way that the Raiders are not going to get the ball back on that snowy playoff night in New England, and the Dallas Cowboys are not going to get first and goal in Green Bay. And think about the fortunes that would change if those things were different. Oh yeah, the Tuck rule was shown to be a complete sham years later, a total sham, which it was at the time too, as if taking a football from up top in a throwing position and bringing it down is not the clear indication that I choose not to throw anymore. But instead of a fumble, we're calling it an incomplete pass, which after a while, the NFL realized that's stupid. Oh, yeah, somebody who can actually catch a football and make 2 strides, that's the actual length of a first down because he's such a physically gifted receiver and athlete. Let's now use that against him in whether he's going to the ground for catch, where the 2 steps that he is to going to the ground actually amasses almost as many yards as a first down. And let's say he's still going to the ground and that's thus still trying to complete the catch. Let's rule that incomplete. And years later, the NFL realized, well, that's stupid. In the same way that we're all sitting here saying, well, we took the banners away because somebody's getting money, which college players are certainly going to get. Well, that was stupid at the time. Let's restore them. I don't think it works that way. And maybe, just maybe, if collegiate players make enough money one day, you can put a bunch of cash together for the OGs who made it happen, like Ed O'Bannon. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.